Hello everyone and welcome back to my journey. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Samantha. I'm 26 years old and I live in Ontario, Canada. As crazy as it is to be able to say this, 10 months ago I had gastric bypass surgery. My last video was a Q&A video where I talked about some weight loss surgery related things and some personal things. As always, if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to leave them in the comments down below or send me a direct message on Instagram. My username is Samantha_RNY13 and my inbox is always open. If you guys did miss that video, you can go ahead and watch it now. Today's video is going to be going over my history with diet culture. Before I get into today's video, I just wanted to take a quick second to say thank you and welcome back to my returning subscribers, and welcome if you are new. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, you can feel free to do that now. I would really appreciate it. I am so excited about the growth on this channel. Like, I'm at over 180 subscribers now and I never thought that that was possible. I just thought that this was something that I was gonna do and I would get like 10 or so views on each video, but now some of my videos have over 500 views and I think that's really cool. It's been very interesting to see the things that you guys are finding interesting and helpful, and it's given me a bit more purpose in my life and I really appreciate that. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So the first real diet that I ever remember being on was Weight Watchers. From a very young age, I can remember just always wanting to lose weight so badly, and that being something that I was so heavily focused on. I constantly had thoughts of, if I was skinnier, the boys would like me. If I was skinnier, people wouldn't pick on me. If I was skinnier, blah blah blah. I was always trying to take up less space. So the urge to lose weight definitely came from a few different factors, which was bullying and wanting to be liked. I feel like I came to the conclusion pretty quickly that if I wasn't skinny, that I wasn't going to succeed and I was never going to be happy. And I know now that that is not the case, but it's kind of hard when you start thinking at about 8 years old that the only thing you want in your life is to be skinny. My mom was on Weight Watchers and she had the calculator so that we could figure out pretty much how many points a day I should be basing my diet on. And it wasn't really a diet, it was more so just like a suggestion because I was severely overeating and binging and hiding food even at that point. So it was kind of just a way to try to get myself on track and try to figure out when and why the binging and overeating was happening. So this started when I was in grade 7 or 8, I believe. Now, there's not a whole lot wrong with me wanting to track my foods and try to live a healthier life even at that age. I think a lot of the belief was that maybe I was going to pick up these habits along the way and that it was going to be helpful, but the unfortunate thing is that it very quickly became an obsession, and more so of a, if I eat this much amount of food or if I eat this little amount of food, I'm going to feel better about myself or worse about myself, or that I did a good thing or that I did a bad thing. And that turned really scary really fast when I was trying my best to like eat 600 calories a day at some points, like severely restricting, and it basically coming out looking like I was doing something great when in reality I was trying to starve myself. Each time this cycle began, it lasted for a few weeks and then I either got bored of it or a birthday happened or a holiday happened and things just kept getting off track and kept going back to the way that they were before. It would end for a couple of months. I would gain any weight that I had lost back and more, and then I would try again and again, and I feel like each time it got more and more toxic. Weight Watchers became like a familiar favorite type of thing for me because as I got older, I did end up going to the gym and doing gym class in high school and stuff like that. I would count that towards my daily activity, which meant that I could eat more food because I had more points to spend. This, of course, meant that I was eating more calories, but probably overestimating the amount of calories that I was burning, so it just kind of looked good on paper, but wasn't really all that healthy in the long run. I did also find out through Weight Watchers how important it is to have a support system that is not just your immediate family and friends. Things can get a little toxic at times, especially when dealing with teenage girls. Stuff didn't always work out. Sometimes there was competition or sabotage. All in all, being a teenager is not really the right time to start a diet, especially not trying to start a diet and trying to be open about it at the same time. As I said, I did try to go to the gym for a little bit and it just never ended up being my thing. I loved working out on the elliptical and the treadmill. Cardio was always a go-to for me and it still is to this day. I love walking, not so much on the treadmill, but definitely outside. But I quickly learned that going to the gym can be a really uncomfortable experience, especially when you live in a town as small as mine was. Another diet that I did one summer was called Herbal Magic, and basically you just take a bunch of vitamins to make up for deficiencies that you would otherwise experience from malnutrition. You eat a small amount of calories and try to make up for it with vitamins, as far as I remember. Now, people might come at me for that, but personally I believe that this is just another crash diet. If it worked for you or it works for you, I'm very happy for you and I wish you all the best, but it definitely did not work for me, and that turned out to be one of the least successful diets that I was ever on. Dr. Bernstein was the worst. The Dr. Bernstein diet I think is either the same or very similar to the Atkins diet, so you're consuming like, I believe it was 600 to 900 calories a day, depending on what your choices were, and the more protein and the less carb that you got in, the better. So it was basically keto on steroids. It was the worst diet I tried in terms of helping me mental health wise, but the most successful diet that I had in terms of losing weight. I believe the most I ever lost on Dr. Bernstein was 80 pounds, and I definitely did pay for the weight loss in the mental health issues that I gained. Dr. Bernstein is a medically supervised diet where you receive vitamin shots and get a lot of blood work done to check to see where your levels are. As I said before, if this diet works for you, I am so happy for you, and as I said, I do wish you all the best. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but I'm just saying for me personally, especially at the age that I was at, which was 17, I think, this was not a diet that I should have ever been on. Recently, I looked at the Dr. Bernstein's diet website, and their tagline is, "You can lose 20 pounds in a month." And that is true, for sure. But what they don't tell you is that probably 3 to 4 months after you've ended your diet, you're going to gain all your weight back, if not more. This is a serious crash diet that is labeled, as I said, as a medically supervised diet. I did try Dr. Bernstein twice, once when I was 17 and again when I was 20, and both times I went through horrible withdrawals, major mood swings, hormonal changes that I really was not prepared to deal with at that time in my life, and I suffered through severe depression. I don't think I was mature enough to handle the added attention that losing weight brought, and it was really difficult seeing my peers in school and also the people that I worked with when I did try the diet the second time treat me differently because of the fact that I was losing weight. I had people approach me at a previous job and basically say how happy they were that they didn't have to watch me binge on food on lunch breaks anymore, and then shake their heads as though remembering the binging was too much for them. That was rough. Those were not fun times. I do realize that these people came from a good place and that it was not their intent to ever hurt my feelings, but it was hard being in the mental state that I was. And as I said, seeing people treat me differently strictly because of the fact that I was losing weight really quickly and really unhealthily was really sad for me, because I was still the same person that I had always been, and I've always tried to be a really good person, and I guess it just didn't really transmit in my brain how people could like me more just because I was skinny when they had never liked me before just because I was fat. It was hard to come to the realization that a lot of people only saw me for the weight that I was, though I do realize now that those people's opinions of me does not matter because they're not people that I want in my life or people that I choose to have in my life now, but that does not mean that it still didn't hurt. I'm really happy that I had the surgery at the time in my life that I did, because I feel like 25 is like when your life is just beginning and I can continue on my life on a healthier path and things can really only go up from here. I've also gotten really good at handling unsolicited advice, so that's important because I definitely do receive a lot of that and did receive a lot of that before my surgery as well. Also, I feel like I'm much more focused on the present me and the future me as opposed to the me that exists in other people's minds. After Dr. Bernstein, I went on to try Weight Watchers again, as well as the Slim Fast diet, as well as a mixed bag of different crash diets that never worked, until I reached a point where I completely gave up, and that was how I came to be over 400 pounds at just 23 years old. Of course, now my life has changed completely. One of the first memories that I have on my bariatric journey was the social worker on my bariatric team telling me that me choosing this surgery meant that I never had to go on any diet ever again in my whole life. Yes, I changed my anatomy. Yes, I chose to go under the knife and potentially not wake up from that surgery. And yes, I do choose this surgery every single day. And I'm extremely happy with my decision. That brings us to the end of today's video. As I said before, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, you can go ahead and do that now and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post new videos. Once again, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my username is Samantha_RNY13. I'm really excited for my next upload because I have something very special coming. It is a new series on my channel, and that's all that I'm going to say right now. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.